Hello. I'm back with my bullet journaling shenanigans. It has been a while. I was really into bullet journaling a few years back, I want to say, and I had a whole like playlist, so you might have wondered here from there. If so, thanks for staying. I bought this journal at the beginning of the year. I was speaking with people and they were, starting their journals, and I thought like, oh, you know what? I would love to have one that's Aurelian based, track the readathon and everything, and then time got away from me and I never got to that, and it was fine because I thought, I don't really have enough time either way, so it really makes no sense for me to like start another hobby. Well, that didn't change. I didn't suddenly gain more time. However, I have been yeeted by TikTok's algorithm onto the daily filling in of trackers of bullet journal or journaling in general, planners side, and a mighty need has been born, or reborn, I guess. A couple of days later, here we are, and I'm back on my bullshit. So I have gone and used the bullet journal that I did buy for the purposes of Aurelian, because it does have craft paper, which is something that I used a lot in the other journals, but I had to like put the craft paper in. In this one, I don't have to do that. So I went ahead and started setting it up, and I thought I'll show you what's happening. I mainly did do this so I could just do those videos possibly on TikTok. I might have created a TikTok by the time you're watching this because I'm filming it on the 1st of July. I've just finished setting this up today because I want to start today. So if you're into those videos, although it's not, like I can totally understand why people would just not see a point in them, because you're not gaining any inspiration or anything, you're just watching people fill in how their day went. But I got so hooked on them and I found them so comforting. I don't know, there's something about it I wanted to be part of what I do. How long it will last, who knows, but I don't want to spam people on Instagram stories. I feel like I might reshare some, but I feel like that's a daily is a bit much, which is the goal. I wanted to come on and share some spreads with you. A lot of it is based on my chronic health issues as well, so if you're a fellow spoonie, maybe you want to get some inspiration for spreads that might help you track some symptoms or something like that. But then there's other stuff that's more applicable to everyone, and in general. I posted a little quick sneak peek on Instagram and people did seem too keen for me to do another flip through. So here we are, back on the bullet journal thing. If you like this video and you want me to, I don't know, make a video of like what I use, what tools, what pens and stuff like that, and I'm very happy to make that because I have accumulated quite a bit over the years. But anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to do a little intro as to like what I'm doing. It's very much less so planning, more so tracking, and wanted to say that if you are on those sides of TikTok and you also really like it, then that I am intended on joining that. Whether anyone sees or likes those videos is irrelevant. I just like the thought of it and I love watching the other ones, so I don't know. I just thought it could be fun. So on to the flip through. I honestly just didn't have it in me because I'm so behind on July shenanigan that I didn't have it in me to set it up in an aesthetic way, so this is the aesthetic. It's just a chaos and a mess, but it'll do. Let's start from some yearly spreads. So the first one is the very much well-known year in pixels type of situation. I just did it year in stars, and every day I will be trying to rate my day from 1 star, which hopefully is gonna not be often, to 5 stars, which, one can hope. But I think my absolute favorite part is this right here with the little mood. I've decorated it with some dried flowers and some, I don't know, just vibes, and obviously allocated some colors for the rating. Quite excited. I've not actually kept up with, I don't know if I've ever actually set it up. I don't think I did. This time around I've set up the journaling a little bit differently, in a sense that it's not so much for planning. I've just learned that I use other tools to plan, mainly electronically, rather than do it in my journal, because I don't like my handwriting, and when I don't like my handwriting, it's just not fun, So it's very much set on trackers. So that's the first spread. I quite like it. It's probably one of my favorite ones. The next thing for yearly one, so you'll see every bit here is a month. I have started, as you'll see here, from July to July because I am half a year late to this, which is fine, honestly. I'm not too mad at it. So similarly, I have July to July set up here, and at first I thought I'm gonna do either like little doodles for the vibes of that month or keywords, but I've decided later on I'm actually gonna just track the shows and movies that I watch because I always forget, and I watch so much like Netflix and Amazon Prime and any type of shows, and I think it would be fun for me to keep track of these things because I always forget. So this is what this spread is gonna be. I didn't obviously decorate it with anything, and I'm actually quite okay with that. I'm just gonna keep a list of what I watched, maybe what I thought, I don't know. The next spread is some more yearly trackers. So on the left side we have a pain tracker. This is excluding any type of head pain because that deserves its own category, and that one I actually do need for like medical reasons, so it's about time I actually properly try and track it for my doctors. I did earlier and then I stopped, and I really need to, but I thought it would be good to also track other pain things and see how much it aligns with the migraines, especially for the face pain. Then just listed a bunch of other stuff, and I gave up at the bottom, just put all over for the properly rancid days, I guess. And on the migraine side, I've just have like none but dash low because none is just a rarity, and if you suffer with migraines, you know. Then a headache and then a migraine. I didn't really want to split it anything more because it's already gonna be very hard. That is not so fun, but you know, I tried to make it a little bit more fun with the colors and the tracking and the vibe in general, so it's not as depressing, but it's something that I think is going to be useful to see, and maybe there's going to be more pain-free days, and upon reflection it will look better. Or alternatively, this is going to be the worst decision of my life and it's going to make me extremely depressed. So we'll see how this one goes. Bit of a experiment, I guess. The next one is our Patreon Mooney Book Club read spread. We're gonna ignore the typo here. I might fix it later, I might not, I don't know. Kind of free-handed some moons here. Actually kind of worked out like a nice circle, so I'm not too mad. And I only know our July read, which is gonna be One Dark Window, and then the rest, and I'm gonna put like how many stars I got for that, and I'll fill in the rest just because I think it's a fun thing to track. And I went for a little bit of a sci-fi analog type of vibe for this, and I actually really like it. It's very simple, but it's nice. The next thing is the Adventure in Eldia yearly challenge, which I have absolutely forgotten about. So that's not very host of me, is it? So I thought it would be good to have a little spread for that as well. I'm sure some books that I read will qualify. I guess we'll see. So this is the only spread that is actually from January till December instead of July. So I'm just gonna pre-fill what I already had for these. I had like little chains going below this to just fill in which book that was. And it's a good thing to remember because I honestly am like a child. If I don't have it in front of me, I forget it exists. So this is so I don't do that. Next, and I think the last one in our yearly spreads, is the crochet one. This one's gonna be much more sporadic than the other trackers because I do go through stages, and I anticipate that in the cold months I'm gonna be crocheting way more. But I just thought it would be fun to include like a little hobby because a lot of the spreads looked a little bit sad with the pain management and stuff. So I just doodled a little yarn ball, which was kind of fun. Added some decorations here, and it's a very simple yes or no tracker, so that's gonna be quite an easy one to fill in. Now, I don't know if you're quite prepared for the masterpiece that is my cover page for July, but hold on to your seats because, well, I left one page empty here in case I decide to track something else later on, and this is my July cover page. And you know what? I vibe and we move. First, we have the pain management tracker. Fun. But it is another thing that I also need to track, is how I have 2 types of painkillers, so I'm tracking how many times I'm taking that in a month. I have a limit that I'm supposed to kind of hold on to if I can, and it's a very, very easy thing to lose track of. So I think this is going to be one of the most helpful trackers, even if it's not, you know, super fun, but this makes it more fun, so that counts. As well as a tryptin here as well, which I need to track weekly use of, hence the little marks here. This is for a week. And I also have a little tally at the bottom so I can know how much I'm taking, and then hopefully putting it into a table at the end of the year to actually check what's happened. It's gonna be good data to have. And this one is just my injection for the migraines day as well, which is a good reminder too. I don't think I'll forget it, but you never know. Going on to a bit more fun one, I have a dream log, and this is obviously to kind of write down the dreams that I have. Obviously, if I don't remember, I'll leave it empty. I do have super bizarre dreams, and obviously you forget them, so I'll try my best to either in the morning tell Logan and then or make an effort to write it down so I can plop it in here, because I have very bizarre dreams, and sometimes not. I guess we'll see, but I just thought it would be really fun to just track it. Maybe it's gonna be maybe a bit telling on the source of the dreams that I have, but it's also gonna be, I just think it's somewhat hilarious, somewhat unhinged, and I want that documented, apparently, is what I'm doing. So this is the spread for this. Next tracker is my steps. I've actually worked it a little bit differently because of my, you know, multiple things. I work from home, first of all, and then second of all, health reasons, energy reasons. It's very sporadic, and I don't like to set myself a daily goal. I tried, it's just not something that's worked for me. So instead, I'm gonna try and establish what my weekly averages are, which is gonna be these lines here, and then work from there, trying to beat that and set like, you know, slightly higher than my usual step amount for the next month. So this one's gonna be a little bit more like data gathering than anything else, but then the next month I'm going to do like a very similar one, maybe the same one, I don't know, and then try and mark it yes or no whether I met the goal or not. So this is gonna be more of a gathering data kind of thing, which I'm quite excited about, slightly terrified, but excited. And on this side then we have our habit tracker in the more like didn't quite deserve their own spread, but it's a bunch of things. So I have reading here, I have my vitamins, exercise, gaming, going outside, which apparently now needs to be tracked, flossing, skincare, and takeout. This is the only one that I'm trying to actually reduce rather than improve. So that's gonna be the main one, kind of like the bulk of the trackers. And then the very last one, but definitely not the least, we have the highlight of the day, which is going to be just something fun to track, you know, something happy that is basically like a gratitude thing, but just like a positive thing that happened, to plop it there, which I think is going to be nice. And then something a little bit different that I've seen online. I don't know who came up with it first. I've seen a bunch of things online now, so I'm sorry if there's someone who came up with it first. Made a little spin on that, basically a D20 game to get your chores done, because apparently I am definitely a child and need a game in order to adult. So I did set it up a little bit differently, and I have 3 kind of core things that I need to do for every room. So if I roll a critical 1 or a 2 or a 3, then I'll also roll a d6 to see which room that pertains to, and obviously assign the values there. And I have a list of other tasks that I could do if I roll onto them, and the white value is the amount of points I get in order to defeat this. This is a monster we're trying to defeat in this batch. I'm hoping to continue doing this after I finish it. This might not be in July. I don't know how long it's gonna take me. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't, because it's novel, it might. But if it takes longer, that's fine too. And this is the progress bar, obviously currently empty. I've just set it up, but every like 2 squares is 10 points, or like 1 square I guess is 5. I've assigned a couple of tasks like clutter and dust, as that is the biggest the thing that takes me the most time in each room, like 25 points. And then there's like one cupboard that we have that's extremely messy. You know, when you just put stuff to dye in. That's 20, and then showers, because I hate them, 20 as well, and everything else I think is 10 points. So we'll be chipping away at this. I still need to decide on a reward. That's surprisingly hard for me to do, because I either find it that it's something that I'll do either way, or it's like not big enough or too big. I don't know. Well, I'll put a reward here, and then once I'm done that, then I get to treat myself to it, but also fighting the monster to get the chores done. So that is how this page looks like, and that actually concludes the setup. And that's all the spreads. I feel like I didn't go too crazy, but it still took me a good couple of days to set that up. I'm very excited to get on with it, and now I get to the fun part of the whole process, is to actually using it, which is very, very fun. If you'll join me on the TikTok, I'll see you there. And the TikTok, wow. If you'll join me on TikTok, I'll see you there. And if not, I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and happy journaling if you do. Bye.